Dear Daily Diary, I guess it's Amazon Prime Days because every video that I'm seeing right now on YouTube is about Amazon Prime and people trying to get other people to click on their affiliate links, which is totally cool. I got plenty of affiliate links. If you want to click on any of them, that would be awesome. That would be cool. I wouldn't hate you for that. But what I want to talk about today is, in my opinion, I have such a better idea for Amazon Prime Day, for a day of shopping, or a day, multiple days of shopping, which, let's face it, if you live in this culture, you shop so much of the time of your life, you spend shopping. So you shop a lot. But since this is Prime Day and people are going crazy and they want to get good deals, I have such a better idea. And the idea is that since we watch these influencers all the time, many of whom are real artists, like doing real work on the outside, and I'm not making any kind of disparaging remark towards influencers who just do YouTube, because in my opinion, that is a form of art. But there are other people doing other things. In my case, I'm writing plays, I'm writing films, I'm shooting films, I'm a photographer, I'm doing a lot of stuff. And so I think for these Prime Days, where we're so focused on shopping and spending money and acquiring things and buying things, I think it would be an awesome time to take a moment and to support the artists that you love so much and buy their stuff, whether it be buying tickets or buying books or buying CDs or hiring them to do some filmmaking for you or hiring a photographer, buying their prints, things like that. I think that's what these days should be all about. I think that would be so much of a better thing, because that's how we survive, and that's how you support the arts. It's not easy to be an artist. It's not easy to be an independent artist. It's not easy to be basically an entrepreneur with your art. It's very difficult because the truth is that most people really undervalue art. They couldn't live without it. Don't get it twisted. If there was no music, if there was no art, if there was no street art, if there were no museums, if there were no movies, things like that, I believe that people would kill each other. Well, people are already killing each other, so I don't know. But I just think in a civilized society, and even art can kind of calm down a crazy society that's inflamed and going nuts and hurting one another. I really believe that art heals for real. Art really can help. And so, anyway, that's what I think we should do. I think we should support one another. I know that's what I'm going to do. If I'm spending any money at all, I'm going to spend money on supporting other artists. And I do that all the time. Even when I can't even really afford it, I always try to buy merchandise from people selling stuff. I bought a ton of books from poets that, honestly, and don't say this to anybody, it's between you and I, but I don't even like their work sometimes. But I buy it anyway because I want to be supportive of them, because I know what it's like. And I might like them personally, but even if I'm not particularly interested in their work, I'm generally going to buy their stuff. I buy a lot of music, a lot of CDs, physical CDs. I certainly go to a lot of events, things like that. So I try to support, because that's what I do. That's what I need. I need people to support my work, and I never take for granted the support that I have received, which has been incredible. I've gotten unbelievable, every time I perform, I look out at the audience and I just think, thank God. This is an incredible gift, because there would be absolutely no reason for me to do this work if there were no people here. When I make a movie and people stream it and I see all these views and I get to go to film festivals and have an audience in a big theater, I just think there would be no reason for me to do this without this community of people. It's unbelievable. And so, the same thing with my merchandise. I have merchandise, and whenever somebody buys something, first of all, I don't know if they even realize that they're supporting me to continue to make art. Everything that I make goes into my life, paying my bills, obviously, and living, but also going back into my work, buying any gear that I might need, fixing gear that might need fixing, the expenses that I need to make a film, to do a play or whatever, paying other people. So I want to, I've done this once this year. I want to do it again today. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I have, and if you're interested in it, you can get it all at my website, and the link is always in my description. It's the very last thing you'll see on every video too, rockwilk.com. Pretty simple. One of the things I have is this incredible little subway map that is a collection of haiku, which are poems, short poems. They are 5 syllables, 7 syllable, 5 syllable, 575. That makes up a haiku. And as you can see, this is folded. It's an old New York City subway map. This is actually from the 1930s, I believe. It is literally the only subway map. See that I folded back up, and it's like a subway map. This is the only subway map that I didn't have to license. Like New York City owns the license to every subway map from every year since they've been making them. And I found one that they don't own the license to. So I was able to superimpose photography and these poems on top of this thing, and it's pretty incredible. And I think you would love it. You can get that at my website. A lot of people don't know that I'm a musician. I started in the music business. I was a recording artist, a producer, a session musician, and I have my last CD, Broke Wide Open. This became a play. And this is one of the most important pieces of art that I ever created in my life. It's got beautiful artwork on it. Really, really, I feel like, owning a physical CD, like something you can hold, just like this thing. This is like physical, tangible art. It's not virtual. It's not something you could just click on. You have to have a CD player to play this. It's just something that I'm very, very proud of. There are, I believe, 13 songs on this, maybe 14 songs on this, and I'm just incredibly proud of it. And like I said, this morphed into a play. The other thing that I have, again, you can get that at my website. I have now this book right here. This is a script of 2 of my plays. One is Broke Wide Open, the other is Brooklyn Quartet. You can't get this. This doesn't exist anymore. Because Brooklyn Quartet is going to be published separately by somebody else. But Broke Wide Open is still available by this company. And it is a tangible book. But it's my script. It's the script to Broke Wide Open, my first play. So if you've never read a theatrical script, if you didn't get a chance to see the play, scripts are not like reading novels, but this is I would say that this is kind of unconventional in a conventional kind of way. It was my first time out. I had a great director who believed in allowing me to express myself in the way I wanted to, while also kind of reining me in and making sure that everything was formatted properly, and etc. So he was also my dramaturge, and this is something you could buy as well. These are all available at Amazon. Well, actually, the CD is not available at Amazon, but the book is available at Amazon or at many other places. But you can get it at my website, which would be more better for me. I am selling prints of my photography, and I'll show you a couple of the shots right here while I'm talking. I just put one up today that is my absolute favorite, a small boat on the Hudson River, and I caught it when it was raining one day. I was walking over the pedestrian bridge, and I just happened to see it, and I saw the water trailing behind it, and I just fell in love with that moment, and I shot it real quick. And obviously the boat was kind of flying up the river, so I had to catch it as quickly as I could. And these prints, what I'm really proud of with these prints is that they're really on heavy archival paper, and they look more like paintings than photographs. Like, first of all, they're guaranteed to live 150 years or more. They're the thickest kind of paper that you can get for photography, a special kind of ink, inkjet, and they're almost like a surrealistic rendering of my photography. Like, obviously they look like what you'll see on the computer. Go to my photography page, but they're going to look a little bit different too because of the way it's rendered on thick paper with this kind of ink. Like I said, it looks more like a painting, so it's, yeah, kind of like a surrealistic rendering of my photography. So, and that has been so good for me so far. It's my lifeblood. It's really expensive for me to print these and to ship them. I protect them. They're, signed by me. So you can get prints too, and that greatly supports me as well. You could always join my Patreon channel. I have a PDF poetry book that's available also at my website. It's a very extensive combination of poetry and just like, I don't even know what to call it, you know, like prose maybe, but there's a lot of stuff there that was a very, very kind of heavy project for me to do. It incorporated a lot of things that I was going through in my life at that time, a lot of adoption issues, a lot of stuff that I went through with friends. I lost a bunch of friends. There's a lot of, you know, just poetry that, you know, was in the moment of what I was feeling in the moment. There's also a lot of photography on that, in that PDF. It's pretty long. There's a cover made by the amazing Anthony Andujar, who is a young artist who every time I perform live, he shows up and draws me in real time and hands me a painting of me, which is, or a drawing of me, which is just like, he's remarkably gifted. So you can get the PDF on my website as well. And so that's all the stuff I'm going to talk about from my website. You could go to the, you know, buy page or the purchase page or whatever it's called. Check out my photography page. That's where you get the prints. And yeah, on a day of Prime, I know that people are buying things that they need. I know people are buying cameras, especially in this space that I find myself in on YouTube. People are buying lenses and camera bodies and microphones and gimbals and lighting and, you know, stuff like that, monitors, tripods. And, you know, if you need that kind of stuff, definitely take advantage of Prime and buy it. I mean, personally, I'm not on Prime, but that's more for, you know, socio-political issues and Jeff Bezos and what's going on in the country, and I didn't want to support him anymore, so I left Prime. But I'm not mad at you if you're still on Prime, and if you're buying stuff, that's awesome. But I'm just saying, I think it would be even more awesome to support some of the artists who you love, the independent artists, the ones who don't have corporate backing, who don't have big money behind them, who figure out how to get this done every day, who dedicate their lives to this, who literally sacrifice everything to make art to share with you. This is our offering to the world. This is what we do best. Like, I know for myself, I don't even know how to do anything else. And, you know, it's to my detriment quite often in terms of my life. Like, I know a lot of people look at me and they're like, what are you doing? You know, why are you living like that? But they don't understand it. You know, they don't get the payoff. They don't understand that the journey for me is the thing that I love, the day-to-day, the creating. I enjoy the problems. I enjoy the obstacles. I enjoy trying to figure things out. That's what art is. And then when I finish, I get to share it with people. And that means I get to build community. And that's everything to me. And the thought in my head that I'm building a community based on what I'm creating, that's so humbling. It's so incredibly humbling and something never to be taken for granted. So thank you to everybody who's part of my Patreon. I so appreciate that. Please subscribe here. That's support as well. Please hit the like button. And on this Prime Day or these Prime Days or whatever, do what you got to do to get what you need. But I think also to, you know, I think you should take a moment to think, you know what, on this energy of selling and buying and all this kind of stuff, why not look at the independent artists around you and think, you know what, who deserves my support? Who do I want to make sure continues to exist in the world making this art? And I'll end the video with this. The other thing you should think about is the arts organizations that you depend upon. The not-for-profit theaters, museums, bookstores, places like that, places that were getting financial aid, financial grants from the government. A lot of that is no longer existing. And so it's going to be about the people. If you listen to, say, NPR or PBS, for example, it's not just news. They create a lot of art. They curate a ton of art, you know, documentaries, films, television shows, all kinds of stuff. They curate live events in museums, places like Lincoln Center and the Public Theater, and you need to support these places. So with this energy right now of people with their hands in their pockets ready to pull some shit out, think about where you want to send that money and support the people who you think are giving you everything that they have to make an offering to you to try to make a better world. And like I always say, you know, I end a lot of my work with this phrase because I live by it, you know. I'm finished with this video. I've said everything I want to say. I've communicated to you as best I possibly could. I've tried to keep it as succinct as possible, and here's to a better world for all of us.